What's going on, guys? It's the Last Viking TV back again. For those of you that don't know, I actually have not been making too many Highland game videos because it's been pretty cold this time of the year here in Southern California. So the Highland Games is actually I'm personally I don't know about my other family members, but myself, I'll be training starting late October, early November. I'll start be posting some videos of my training and stuff like that, hitting back to the gym to that 4 days a week type style training. I do want to bring to your attention though that I did go to the DMV and I got my my M1 endorsement, so my motorcycle training class. So I want to elaborate on that a little bit for those of you that are thinking about popping on that Harley or just going and looking tough. There are a few things that you need to think about and know what is the right way of doing it. There are easy ins and easy outs of this, and I actually had to learn the hard way. And unfortunately, there's just not enough videos that talk about this type of stuff. Now, let's get into it. When getting your M1 endorsement or M1 license for motorcycles, specifically in the state of California, okay, the way I did it was, okay, I'm really sure of this whole, I know how to drive a motorcycle, but I was definitely unsure of how I need to go about going down this straight little line at the DMV, going around a circle 2 times, and then coming back out and coming to a complete stop without putting my feet on the ground. Now, if you are pretty much acclimated with your clutch and your throttle, it's probably not going to be that big of an issue. They're going to be looking that you can actually stay within the lines between 2 cars pretty much, and that you can bob and weave. So they're going to have you go in and out of cones and stuff like that. What I would suggest for what I did, okay, so I'm going to tell you what I did and what I suggest. So what I did was I felt insecure with that training model, or that one-time shot at the DMV, having to pay the $36 for the driving test and then coming in and taking the roadside test. Now, one of the things that I did was, okay, I was like, okay, let me just go ahead and take the CHP class, which is the California Highway Patrol class, approved class, and it's instructor. So I went there, spent over a whole weekend, wasted my whole weekend for 16 hours, 8 hours each day, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. You'll probably see that if you're looking for that type of class. Now, once I took that class, they taught me like pretty much almost everything I already knew. Just don't be stupid and drive in the rain, pretty much. I mean, you can, and they teach you the techniques on how to drive through the rain, but nothing satisfies that knowledge except for in real life scenarios. So when you're really driving through the rain, does necessarily driving straight over steel plates that are wet necessarily really fix the issue? What happens if those plates are oiled and greased down or have oil spots and stains over them? You never know until you're actually there. Now, textbook versus reality is completely 2 opposite things, and I think as a society, we need to start reevaluating that process. You can learn everything you can in the books, but can you actually apply what the books say into reality? Most of the times, most scenarios, you cannot. It's just not applicable. So, what I did was, so I took the class, wasted a whole weekend, spent 16 hours there, paid the $258 or whatever it was, and so wasted my money just to basically learn how to lean, counter lean with the bike in a turn, how to stop pretty much on a dime. Things I kind of already knew, you know, using both brakes at almost every stop. Don't use your front brake to do front stoppies because your front wheel will lock up. 70% of your braking power comes from your rear tire. A lot of those things. Now, moving on. After I passed that class at the top of the class, and missing only 3 questions out of the writing test that they give you and the on-course DMV driving test, the actual one that waives your driving test at the DMV. So you take that class to only waive one thing, and that is your on motorcycle driving test. Now, so when I went to go to the DMV, I already passed my driving test, right? So keep that in mind. I already passed it. It takes about 2 weeks for you to actually get the paperwork. Now I go in and waiting for the paperwork to come. And in the process, I don't want to forget what I learned. So I was like, okay, let me just go to the DMV, use what I learned. And it's probably going to be like the same questions, right? So I go to the DMV. I get there at about 6:30 a.m. Wait in line. I'm number 8 in line, so I go and I wait in line, and I get my number, get called up, go and take the test. Test is online. So the guy's like, okay, it's $36. Take your test, blah blah. So then, if you haven't had your test, if you haven't renewed your driver's license for your car within 12 months, you need to take your car test also on top of, in addition to your motorcycle test. So be ready for both of them. So when I get in there, I take my test, and the guy's like, okay, you have three tries to actually nail this test, and then you actually have to start this whole process over again. Go back in line, set up an appointment, come on in, fill out the registration form again, pay the $36 again, and then take the test again. You have 3 more times to do it. So the 3 more times can actually be done instantly. I prefer you do it instantly if you fail the first one, because my scenario was quite like this, actually specifically like this. So I had taken the test, and a lot of the questions on there were nothing, not even close to what I had actually learned in the class. And so at that point in time, I really felt like, shoot, I really wasted my whole weekend. I mean, I could have easily, and then I go to the DMV, I'm like, I could have driven down that little line, and I could have made that circle. Actually, the circle and the test that they have you do on the road test in the class to pass it is actually maybe 4 or 5 times more difficult, although they do provide training, 4 or 5 times more difficult than it is to actually take the test in the parking lot at the DMV. So think about that. It's easier to take the test at the DMV for the driving test than in your class. Next, taking the information that you get in classrooms at the DMV, do not at the classroom at the campus or wherever you're going to take it at the motorcycle training class, absolutely has nothing to do with what you learned, what you have tested at the DMV. So for instance, one question was at the DMV that I continuously failed, and I picked it up actually my 3rd time, and I'll get to that in a minute. So my first question was, one of them was, okay, and they have a lot of diagrams, so I don't want to show you the diagrams without actually having a picture of it, and I can't get a picture of it because, well, it's on the test. You can't take pictures of that stuff. So one of the questions was, when driving with a load, or always driving with a load. No, that's a joke. Driving with a baggage or load, you want to make sure that you have your baggage or load tied to what? The front of the rear, over the rear axle, front over the rear axle closest to you, or over the gas tank, or behind the rear wheel axle. You know, you see a lot of these people that have these big saddlebags that are driving the Harleys on the side of the rear wheel, in the back of the wheel. Yeah, that's illegal. You can't do that. So in the class that I actually paid almost $300 for, had said over the rear wheel of the axle. That's what I put. Guess what? It's wrong. It's wrong. You can only miss 5, so I'm already down 1, and I only have 4 more times that I can nail this test. The correct answer was move everything forward over the gas tank and as close as up the front and as far forward as possible. Basically shifting all the weight towards the front of the tire, because you're obviously heavier than the load that you're carrying, and so you're basically center of balance, or maybe even weighting towards the back, weight balance. So they're trying to tell you to put all your weight up towards the gas tank. So I even appealed my questions to the person that was grading my test, and so it was still wrong. So I took the test on the 3rd try, so I missed my first one. I missed 8 questions. My second one, I missed 6. So I was like, hey, I got $36 I could waste on this stupid thing. I'd just go home and study again, read everything I need to read. So I was like, okay, let me just take the third one. So I apprehended and remembered the questions that I had missed in my first and second time. And I remembered the answers because it does show you the answers. So you might want to take that in consideration too. On the third time, all those questions that I missed in the first one and the second one, I had applied the answers correctly on the third test. And I'd only missed, I think, 2 questions, and I was able to miss 5. So I only missed 2 questions. The test on the electronic test for the motorcycle is only 25 questions. That's it. You have 18 questions for the car part of the test, and you can only miss 3 of those questions on the car test. So with that being said, in summary, what I have learned from this weekend and this whole license test for the M1 for motorcycle endorsement, basically, get your, just go in, study, read the handbook, study, get your motorcycle permit first. Basically, all permits consist of is simply reading the motorcycle manual, read it from front to back, understand it, comprehend it, visualize it, because a lot of this is visualized. It's a visualizing written vocabulary test kind of mixture. Go in and take your test for and then you're going to get a permit. So the permit does not allow you to drive with a passenger, it does not allow you to drive on freeways, and it does not allow you to drive at night. So, safest case scenarios, take your bike in the daytime, go to the DMV on a weekend when the DMV is closed, drive that circle as many times as you can, okay? Drive that circle as many times as you can. Get a few cones from Big 5. Put them about 3 feet spaced out in between, maybe about 4 or 5 of them. Go in between the cones, starting from the far right into the left, right, left, right, left, right, left, until you exit. Then go around the circle, then come back through the cones again. Make sure that you stay in between those lines. So having your permit first allows you to do that legally. You can drive it. You can drive your motorcycle. Be very safe, be very cautious. Now then, a lot of the things that you're going to learn about driving on rain, obviously same things with cars. Don't slam on your brakes. Don't really drive when it's wet because it's just stupid. You're on 2 wheels. Then the second thing is, if you absolutely must drive in the rain, drive super careful. Make sure you have plenty of space cushions in between. Again, get your permit first, and then on the weekends, do your road test through your circles. Once you feel like you mastered it, go back, test on it. If you're over the age of 21, you can. Under the age of 21, I know it's kind of messed up there, but get your permit first. Once you're over the age of 21, go back and test it. Go to the DMV, make an appointment, schedule. You don't have to actually make an appointment. You can actually just do a walk-in, take your test, and once you pass that driving test and show them that you can do a circle and that you can go in and out of the cones, then guess what? You're good. You got your M1 license. Congratulations. And I hope this video was informative to you. Possibly maybe even save you $300 and a whole weekend wasted. So enjoy motorcycles, drive safely, do not drive recklessly. Remember, people in cars do not respond and do not respect people on motorcycles, because there are a lot of crazy drivers out there trying to show off, trying to do stunts, and trying to impress people that could actually care less about their stupid little bicycle on 2 wheels with an engine that sounds like a beanbag, or cans in a bean, or beans in a can, whatever. So anyways, I hope this video was informative to you, maybe possibly even saved you quite a few $100s. So drive safe, enjoy driving, drive responsibly, do not drive drunk. 1 beer can already impair your judgment, so make sure that you do not drink and drive. If you do drink, don't drive. Give your keys to somebody else. Call Uber, call Lyft, call a taxi, call somebody, because you have no protection when it comes to riding a motorcycle, and it is very dangerous. So do not drink and drive. Be responsible. Please make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. Should be down over here in the bottom, little red thing that says subscribe. Just press that subscribe, hit the bell next to it. Share this video with all your friends and family. Driving motorcycles can be a lot of fun if driven responsibly and legally. You know, just follow the rules. Drive a motorcycle like you would drive a car. Pretty much. Just don't be zipping in between cars like you see other idiots doing. That is not the way you're supposed to be driving a motorcycle. Driving a motorcycle just like you would driving a car, pretty much. So, anyways, I hope this video helps. There are a lot of tutorial videos on YouTube that shows you that actually helps you do tutoring over motorcycles and how to drive a vehicle. So, anyways, please make sure you share this video, give a thumbs up, comment down below. Thanks for watching. Until next time, guys, I got more videos coming out. Stay tuned. There's more to come.